This is a very interesting article for a few reasons. Number one, it brings up this argument of who should be paying broker fees. Should it be the renter or the homeowner? Number two, it highlights the reality of renting in Boston, which is that apartments are insanely expensive. And number three, it brings up this question of, are agents and brokers really valuable? Is what they're doing worth what they're getting paid? So I want to address these last 2 points first and circle back to the first one. Number one is the renting costs in Boston, apartments costing $4,500 for small units. The reality of that is that it's a supply and demand issue. The fact that there's not a whole lot of supply for apartments in Boston is what is causing them to be so expensive. And really the only way to get around that is to get further out from the city. It's a sad, unfortunate reality, but it is reality. And then the second point, whether or not agents and brokers deserve to get paid what they get paid, I'm obviously biased with this. I'm an agent and I'm also a landlord, but I can tell you that it is a grind to rent out an apartment to find the right tenant, at least if you're doing it professionally, if you're doing it thoroughly, and you're doing a good job with it. Are there agents out there that are lazy, that will just list something and put it up and forget about it? Absolutely there are, but those of us that are really in it and work very hard to screen tenants, to provide a professional service to both the tenants and the homeowners, it's a grind. It's a lot of work. And then the last point is, who should be paying the fee for this grind? I understand both sides of this argument, and what I will say is, I think as homeowners, if you're going to expect a tenant to pay a broker fee, then you also need to be reasonable about all the other fees that they're paying. So for example, if you're going to ask a tenant to give you first month's rent, last month's rent, security deposit, and pay a broker fee on top of that, in some places that's like 5 figures. That's over $10,000. And honestly, at that point, what I would probably say to that tenant is, why are you even renting? If you have that much money to put down to rent a house, why don't you just buy a place for FHA 3% down? Because that is a ridiculous amount of money to put down just to rent a house. So that's my whole thing is, if as a landlord you're going to expect the tenant to pay a broker fee, then you got to be willing to bend somewhere else, because it is ridiculous to expect the tenant to pay first, last, security, and the broker fee, among other things, right? Some people do pet fees as well. Some people do cleaning fees. So it gets a little ridiculous at a certain point. I do think homeowners need to be cognizant of that. And then as tenants, it's a tough position to be in. And I'm curious what you guys think. Drop it in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. I want to hear what you think. Thanks for watching.